Hi, hello, and today I am discussing about erotic photo shoots and what it takes. Okay, what it takes to create erotic photography at the studio, right? And the first thing, what maybe the most important thing is to be yourself. Hi, hello, to be yourself, right? This is the most hardest thing during erotic photo shoot for people to be themselves because you see, usually clients have a lot of masks on. So to get into the real you when you are relaxed, when you are focused, let me just put my glasses on because I don't see the messages right. Here we go. Okay, so today I am talking about erotic photo shoot and I will discuss about creative process, right? And creative process means that you are peeling off the layers, okay? Peeling off the layers. What those layers are. And there are layers consist of a lot of opinions which are not yours. Okay, there are words that been said about you. People are thinking certain things about themselves which are not necessarily true. Okay, so that's what we're doing during erotic photo shoot. We're finding out who is that person who is in front of the camera, the real you, right? So creative process consists of doing certain things, right? Impulsively. Okay, when adults have imagination and they start to move the way they're not supposed to, right? In erotic photo shoot, okay? It's not staged, it's not faked, right? It's real you. That's the most important thing, what I say to people, that you have to find that truth within you, what you really want to take a picture of, right? Do not pretend that you are someone else, okay? Remove that mask. It's the hardest thing, okay, to be yourself. It is very easy to go into the mode and be someone else, okay? There are so many people, when they start erotic photography, they imagine, okay? They imagine that they are someone else, okay? And then, right, it's so hard to actually be free in front of the camera. It's so hard to feel what you want the next moment, okay? Erotic photography, it's all about energy, okay? It's all about the frequency, what you feel, how you feel at that moment, okay? What you can do with your body, with your facial expression, what you allow yourself, okay, during the photo shoot. And of course, hi, hello. And of course, what distance you can go, how far you can go during the photo shoot in terms of sexuality and intimacy, okay? That's the goal. So most of the time I see that people start from a shy, stiff, stale position, okay? Even I am starting this live, okay? Not full on, okay? But slowly bringing up my mood up, okay? And revealing that topic, going deeper with that topic. So there is always a start point, okay? And what is great in the photography, because you see, you can check for yourself what it is, the starting point, and what you have achieved, how far you went, okay? What happened during the photo shoot. You can see your progress, okay, during erotic photography. That is probably the gift that the photographer can give you. So there are photo shoots when you will go and you will undress and most of the time feel nothing, okay? It will be just you naked, undressing, which sometimes there is a big challenge, okay, as well, right? There are people who are writing me and asking about erotic photography. They would tell that they are not sure if they are able, okay, to commit to it, okay, that they are not brave enough, that they are shy and they're scared, but they're dreaming about it. Okay, and I really value, okay, I really value because I believe honesty is the first step going forward. You have to be honest with your photographer, what exactly you want to create, okay, and then during the photo shoot you have to be honest with yourself, okay, honest with yourself, and sometimes being honest, okay, and being you is the hardest thing. Okay. Yesterday I spoke with one of my friends, which I haven't seen really long time, and she is struggling to find her match. Okay, she's in a dating mode. Okay, and what I said to her is that people, you see, they're looking for someone, okay, out there, and they can't find, so they decide to stay by themselves. And I said to her that very recently what I've realized is that because they're looking for someone else, okay, that is why they cannot find. I believe now that we have to find a chip, a soul chip from ourselves. So we are looking a part of ourselves, okay? And when you're looking for someone else, that's why you cannot find it, okay? So this is some kind of a new theory that I have in mind about dating, okay? Let me just quickly talk about dating photography, okay? Because dating photography, it is also erotic photography, I believe, because dating today is not only about portraits, okay? Dating, it's about sexy pictures, okay? And you can portray your sexuality being dressed. You can be seductive and you can be very interesting and you can attract people in a certain way, right? You can show your markers. Sexuality is your marker. Sexuality is that marker how you recognize and how you accept other people. Because with some, you connect straight away, right? And some people repel you, right? Or you've been repelled by some people, right? So sexuality, it's a very interesting topic to discuss, and every time when I come live, I will be discussing specifically that, because erotic photography can't be created without sexuality, okay? It's an energy that people feel in their body, right? It's a frequency that they vibrate, okay? And when I look at the pictures, I think this is sexy or I think it's not sexy, okay? And the others doesn't matter, okay? So when you're choosing photography for dating, right, you should be choosing only sexy pictures, right? What I can see in dating apps, that people are on holiday, that people are eating burgers and drinking beer, you know, or having cocktails or doing other stuff on their bikes, on hiking on the mountains, whatever they do. They're showing their hobbies and they're showing part of their life, okay, which is fine, right? They can be in a birthday party or at the wedding, okay? But in the reality, when you are in a dating world, right, you just think about one thing: intimacy with that person. Just about one thing. And everyone is thinking about that, and male and the female. Okay? So only connection is matter, and only that energy is matter, right? We're choosing the person by, if you know, of course we live in a material world and there are other agendas, right? But I'm talking about normal things, right? When we're choosing a person to be with, okay, to be close with, right? Not for money, not what car he has, or not, you know, what house he live in, okay? For different reasons, okay? Let me quickly say hi. I am nearly 10 minutes in my life, okay? Hi, hello. And today you can ask questions about erotic photography, erotic photo shoots, and I will be discussing about creative process. Okay, creative process for erotic photography has to be impulsive, right? People has to use their imagination, right? And intuition. Okay, so adults are learning during the photo shoot, okay? They're learning to be themselves, they're learning to be at the present moment, okay? They're learning to overcome negative information, what occurs, okay, what comes into the surface during erotic photo shoot. Inevitably this happens, okay, depending on the personality. Some people are very much intellectual in terms of the sexuality, and they accept this as a fun and as an adventure. Okay, and I'm very privileged to shoot with those people because their energy is just amazing, you know, to work with them. I never get tired with them, and I never get bored during the photo shoot, okay? And there are people who vibrate with other energy when it makes them feel different way, when they stuck, when they scared, when they nervous, when they are embarrassed, when they feel guilty doing something, okay? There are many other things, right, what they can feel. And that is very brave to come to a erotic photo shoot to overcome, okay, these emotions, because this is the fastest way to do a self-therapy, phototherapy. Okay, taking an action and going forward in a safe environment, right? Undressing and creating an artwork, it heals you. We all know that artwork, paintings, there are in all the healing institutions, right? And I include hospitals and clinics and rehabs and whatever, you know, wherever we go. The reason why it's there, because it has a certain meaning, right? People, by looking at the art, okay, it makes them feel something, okay? And that's why they get that effect. During my photography, we create specifically that, okay? I make art, and I will explain you a little bit later what it is to go into art process, okay? So when we create, right, we can do it in many ways. We can control the art process and program the lights and plan the moves, okay, and we would know exactly what we'll get. And that would be a photography, because it will be expected, okay? Photography, it's a certain art form, but it's not approved, right? What I am saying is that when we are in experimenting mode, which will occur a lot of error during the shooting, and no one knows what will happen, but we experiment with lights, with textures, with bodies, with backgrounds, with movements, with settings in the camera. We can change everything at once, right? And we can fail, or we can create something what is unknown. We don't know how the client, the object, will react during these experiments, right? And how the photographer will move and will create in the contact with the client, right? So it's like a dance. Dance, I don't know what kind of dance, tango. You know, when you're dancing a tango with your partner, you kind of don't know what will be the next move. But intuition kicks in, and you feeling where to go. Of course, women follow the lead, right? And it will be a man who would lead the woman, right? So the woman is waiting for the move and then answering, right? Intuitively, instinctively, okay? And that's why this magic is created, and it's so beautiful to watch this dance. So that's how I think or see the artwork that I create, because we dancing in the studio. The client don't know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna change the settings, what I'm gonna create. But we both going towards a certain goal to create the artwork that would be unforgettable. No one could repeat this. No one can recreate. That's the main point of creating art. And when you do not like yourself, right? When you do not accept yourself, you don't like your body, you don't like how you look, you don't like how you feel. And that moment when you create art and looking at your artwork, you can't not love yourself. Okay? You can't. Because the things that you make, it will be how to say, undeniably perfect. You know, that's what art is for me. Okay, and yes, you can stage it up, you can set up the lights, right? You can set, you see, in the studio people are setting up the lights even before anyone arrives, so they know and they're ready and they're saving their time. That's how the studio works. But is it art? For me, no. What is the wonder element? What is this? They know. They know what the settings they are using. They know what lights they are using. They know how to pose the client into specific pose, that this pose will be successful. Okay? The client is not moving freely, right? So it's a stiff, planned shot, right? But that's not the art. Okay, you don't know at that point. You see, I put my client to the position, to that point that I don't know. Does he goes left? Does he goes steps right? Does he goes forward? Does he goes backwards? What kind of the sensation is feeling? How far he's going with me? You know, that's the art when you don't know, and that's when you feel the power of creating. Okay, so I'm answering questions. Oh my god, that's my new setting, and my light is just dropped, so we are going to use just one light. These things happen even in the studio. Okay, so let me just quickly answer the questions. Today I'm answering questions about erotic photography. Okay, and talking about creative process at my studio. And what is the important thing is to tell that the best things happen are unplanned. Okay, like right now. Okay, we have unplanned situation when two lights become suddenly one, and that's fine. That's how we create art. Okay. Right, so let me just say hi, hello, and I'm translating from Europe, and I know that I launched into US. Daily reminder that you are loved. Thank you so much for sending me one. Okay, where adult, let's be friends, California. Okay, the first part I do not really know, but let's be friends, of course. Yes, of course. Okay, slowly is nice. Slowly is nice. Slowly is nice. You know, when you're creating art, okay, it's an explosion. It's an explosion and it's a million ideas, okay? And I would say slowly is when you plan things, and when you know that you have to do it this way, and this way, then you are not in rush. Okay, when you're creating art and you have a sexual energy which escalates, right? It gets higher and higher if you are controlling that energy, and if you have a certain people, right, who can control the energy, you kind of able to do it slow. But there are just few like that. When people go into sexual energy, it has to be uncontrollable, okay? And I have to go with the flow, with their speed, okay? And sometimes, okay, right, it's out of the hand, and you just have to adjust to people how they like it. Okay, so when you're working with the sexual energy, it escalates and people go to climax quite fast. Okay, I would like to say to you that the erotic photo shoot is a slowly process, but it's not. Okay, because we are rushing to create as more as possible during that session. Okay, it's very limited. You know that as soon as we reach the climax, right, the guy would need to chill down and rest. okay, most of the time. The lady still can shoot, okay, she can still perform, okay, but I could not say that erotic photo shoot is about doing it slowly, okay, doing it slowly. The start is always slow because people are not sure, they're not in the zone, they don't feel the vibe yet, okay? Although there are, you know, some who come to, you know, pumped up. And when they come pumped up, you know, it also happens very fast, right? So I am that brake, you know? I am that person who is pressing the brakes constantly and stopping people and abstracting in the certain way their energy, right? Otherwise, sometimes they can finish in one set. If we plan to have 5 sets, okay, and we're working with a sexual energy, and let's say I have a couple in the studio, they can escalate very quickly. I can't just be all the time that person, slow, 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 right? The first thing what I do is I ask a man, a guy, a husband, not to snog the lady at the first set. That's what I ask, to go slow. Okay, don't go straight away into her face, don't snog her, because I have not made portraits for them in that beautiful, fresh look, okay? And then they all ruin whatever, right? After that. But that's the only time, okay, when they agree to go slow, right? The rest is basically everyone is unhappy because I am disturbing them, okay? There are people who don't want to be disturbed. But most of the time when we're shooting in my studio, I am after variety and I am after completing as many sets, ideas, fantasies as possible, right? If I would not be on my schedule and not my plan, I can tell you, they could finish in 1-2 sets. Right? If I would not stop them and say, okay, we need to change in this, you need to go there, you need to change your outfits, you need to do this. If I would not be directing, okay, the photo shoot will be finished quite fast, okay? But I am for that person, I understand. The longer they stay, the better they get. That's, you know, that's the rule, not absolute. I can't say for everyone, okay? I can't be, you know, that kind of a person, but that's true. Okay, the longer they stay, the more relaxed they are, the more, you know, frisky and sexy it gets, okay? So that was one thing, okay? Okay, let me just read it out again, a question. I like to answer the questions about erotic photo shoot and sexuality. Can upper lip touch nose? There are some people, okay, here on this live who are in a totally different dimension. Okay, so there are levels of humanity and there is an evolution, right? And some people are thinking and they are in a totally different, living a totally different life. Okay, so now at the moment when I'm speaking and talking about art, okay, someone is thinking about totally different things, you know? I am just saying, and you see, the higher evolution get, the more people are interested in art and in the creative process and to be the master of their life. Because, you know, the more you master yourself, your sexuality, the more likely you will get into that happy life world, because it depends on you, only on you, right? If you know who you are, it is very easy to find the person who will match you. You can't find other ways. You will be unsuccessful because you don't know what to look. The more you know yourself, the easier for you to get that job that you love, okay, and enjoy. And you know what? When you will get that job you really love and doing great because you're enjoying it, right? You will get the money, okay? No, seriously, that's so simple. Okay, but majority people, you see, they go to work, they spend their lives and they're wasted most of the time, okay? And so I'm saying, I'm just presenting my energy and my information, some people cannot understand it. They listening, they watching, and their brain is not processing the information, and that's fine, okay? Because it's not for everyone, okay? Happy life is not for everyone. Everyone was born to live happily, okay? Everyone was born here to be happily, but not everyone can evolve to that point. Okay, so continuing, let me just read the number one. You are so beautiful and your eyes so green. That's very interesting. I always thought my eyes are blue. That's maybe a reflection and it's a darkness here. So that could be an option. Yeah. Are you a Jewish? Very interesting question. Do I look like a Jewish? Okay, next one. Okay, someone is coming to my life, to my casa, and telling me to shut up. Can you imagine this? That's possible, right? Okay, you should go home. That's what I say. Okay, next question is, do we consult with you? Are you guiding us to do this ourselves? Yes, you can do both. Okay, you can do both. Phototherapy is available for everyone, right? You can get information about it. Okay, you see, the way I do it, I always practice on myself. Okay, that's how I learn erotic photography, and then I start working with models. Okay, so that's my path. And I will create an erotic photography course, of course, for adults. It's going to be for beginners who have no idea, oh my God, and for people who are advanced in photography and would like to change their direction. Okay, so you can do both. Okay, you can teach yourself and you can go, use my course, for example, right, and understand how I'm doing it. Okay, because you see, knowing yourself, sexuality, it's information about your adulthood and information about who you are at the moment. Okay, you was programmed as a child and you receive a lot of, programs from someone else. But the question who you are always was hanging. What are you doing here in this world? Who you truly are, okay? What kind of the person you are as an adult, okay? And how you feel and certain things about yourself. Because if you are so much aware of yourself, you will never be ill. Okay, that's the first thing. Or if you be ill, you will be very easy cured. Okay? Then when you know about yourself, you will follow your path. You see, if you have one point, you can go around million circles and not to get there. But when you know who you are, you will take a direct path. Okay? And not waste your time. Right? So knowing yourself, it's a very important thing, right? And sexuality is that energy which allows you to understand who you are, okay? And I am telling you that people have to strip off a lot of layers to reach that depth and understand finally who they are. And in the same time, when they will be learning about themselves, that will be an evolution process for them. Without this, you can't reach your happiness, okay? You can go into the point when you are healthy, when you are successful, when you have a great relationship, and when you have money, when you know. And every point that I've mentioned, sexual energy matters at every point, okay? Your health at this point, as an adult health, right? Sexual energy, you see, if you do not feel interest, okay, if you do not have fantasies, if you do not fancy someone, if you're not, if you're not attracted, if your body doesn't have a calling to be with someone, right? And people say, oh, I don't need anyone, I am fine, and, or I lost interest. And these are adults who are speaking, right? It means that their reproduction system is shut off, right? So they have closed inside in terms of the energy. They do not produce it. But sexual energy affects the whole body, every cell. if you are feeling it, if you are vibrating it. It's working every cell, right? Sexual energy boosts your hormone system. It cleans your body. It's removes the stress, right? It does so much, okay, that I want to promote this, right? I want people to wake up to love. Now at the moment, what I see, that world wake up and they worry how to get money or where to get money or how to get rich. That's all they think about. Okay? And even then, when we talk about money, we know that this is a sexual energy, right? Right there, okay, as well. So if you control sexual energy, you will be open to the world, and the world will benefit from the way you are. It will then give you bonuses, right? That's where, you know, you will get it. I don't think in the way that people are earning. I think that the universe is giving. You see, that's how I think, right? So I am not concerned about earning. I am concerned about giving. The more I give, the more I get, because it's a balance, always a balance, right? So that's how it is. So you have options, okay? I will be inviting students to my course. Right, I will be inviting students to my course, and they can learn erotic photography for themselves, and they can do the same, practice on themselves and then practice on someone else, right? Straightforward. If you have a girlfriend or you have a wife, right, she would really be happy if you take great pictures of her. Yes or no? Okay. And if you have a wife who is shy, yes, who is scared to undress in front of you, and she wants to be in a darker room. So then you will benefit from the intimate life, okay, starting this process, growing with her, right, and raising her energy up, okay? So when you add sexual energy into your life, what people feel, you know, you can see the couple who is doing it, right, and having a great time, and you can recognize the couple who's don't. Even if they're in the friend zone, their face, you know, different. You can see when the woman is satisfied, and you can see when the woman is not. Okay, just visible, right? So sexual energy, it's taking over. Okay, it's taking over. Okay, so do we consult with you, or are you guiding us to this ourselves? So I do not take one-to-one consultations. I am just coming out live, okay, and I'm just sending the message. And at the same time, like I said, I'm preparing courses. So that is the only way, the fastest way to do it, of course, to go with the professional and to do an erotic photo shoot. Why? Because that person will create 500, 700, 1,000 pictures of you when you are feeling certain emotion and when you are reaching a different state. And usually it's an escalate, like a mountain climbing energy, right? When people are standing at the very first step, like a first point A, right? They feel one energy. When they are working with the photographer who is a professional, right? They're getting higher and higher. They're getting more braver. They're getting more confident. They're getting more aware of their body. They are more alert. They sensing certain emotions and feeling. And if, you know, and if experience is great and they're able to open up and let their demons out. You know what I'm saying? Alter egos. That's when it's the successful shoot. Okay? But we can alter egos. That's when it's the successful shoot. Okay? But we can speak about alter egos later, because alter egos, like I say, this is only present in the adult mind. Okay, when we become adults, it forms our fantasies. okay? It plays in a different way, okay? There are positive, there are negative fantasies, right? There is an addictions, okay? There are many things where alter egos are present, okay? And so sexual energy, it's your demons coming out, okay? It's not supposed to be pretty, you know? It's not supposed to be beautiful. I am honest with you. That's why I am seeing and I am witnessing with my clients the moments that other photographers can't, you know? When the demons come out playing and I know how to trigger people to let themselves go, you know? I have a lot of practice over 20 years working in adult business, and I kind of have a feeling what this or that person needs, okay, and what triggers, you know, and I'm just testing, and I do a lot of tests, and during those tests, they let themselves go, and they go even further than they expected, right? And that is when they see themselves, and that is when they appreciate this and value this, because that's the moment, okay? Let me check 10 messages. Let me just start. Okay, what is that? Okay, let me just quickly answer. I see you have 10 messages. What's good, beautiful person? What is a good and beautiful person? The person who is honest, okay, and the person who is not agreeable, okay, and the person who is not trying to be likable by everyone, okay, and who is not pretending and not faking. Okay, that's what that is for me personally. But everyone has a different evaluation, and you are in a different system, you know? Everyone is playing their own game. So for me, I value honesty, okay? And that is beautiful for me, right? Okay, 30 minutes in the live. What I was just saying is this. Okay, let me just discuss about creating process. So there are a lot of people who are absolutely don't know what will happen during the photo shoot, and they would want to know in advance. Okay, so when I am meeting people one-to-one, I absolutely know what I would recommend and what I would create for each of them. It is very hard for me to channel through a distance, through an email or through a message, okay? And every person is shooting in a different way. Yes, we start in the studio. Yes, we start with the portraits. Yes, everyone is undressing, okay? But what happens with everyone during that point, that's the question. Okay, and that depends on the traumatic experience what that person had in the past. Some of them enjoying, some of them feeling really negative emotion. Okay, and that's the thing. Okay, so one person will take 1 hour to create an amazing and successful shoot, and there are people who will take 2 hours just to get into the zone and into the mode. Okay, so everyone is different. If you think that there are couples who will arrive and everyone will create the same erotic fantasies, that's not true. Every photo shoot that I make, and I am updating my website, this is very slowly happening, but I'm updating my website. When you will go, you will see that there are not a single picture made in the same way, because everyone is different. They are in a different mental state, they are in a different physical state, they are in a different age, they are different acceptance of themselves, and they are vibrating in a different frequency, and their sexual energy acceptance and presence is different, okay? And they escalate in a different way, okay? And they like different things, and they climax differently, okay? No, seriously. So that is why my artwork absolutely varies, and I love variety. Okay, this makes me a creative person. I feel as an artist, because every time that people will arrive, I don't know. You see? I don't know, right? But at the end, we will make amazing pictures of them, right? Regardless. Because I have this channeling. You see, something is telling me what I should do with the settings, with the lightings. I receive those ideas suddenly. I live and I create in a moment, and I want my clients feel that they are in the moment to create. And they creating from these moments very important memories for themselves. Okay, so that is the transition. Right, okay. Flow, what that's flow, with doubt, without doubt. Everyone has secrets. Ooh, talking about secrets. Yes, erotic photography, it's a very secret experience. Okay, not everyone would go and say, oh, I'm doing erotica, I'm doing erotic photo shoot. No, it is very private and it is very secret. Erotic fantasies are also very secret. Okay, and this is something what I discuss with my clients. We have an intimate conversation, and very often they are shy and they are stumbling, okay, on the phone, just talking about it. Okay, so when people are not able to speak out about their erotic fantasies, imagine how good they are in the studio. Yeah, yeah. So when I talk about adults, right, there is a very, very big part where people are shy. Okay, when people are downgrading their fantasies. Okay, seriously, yeah, or over exposing, like, oh, I would do this and this, or I would like this and this, and then at the reality nothing like that will happen. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, for me, this type of people is fine. You know what is not fine? When they say, oh, I don't want to do this, and I want something very simple, but when they arrive to the photo shoot, they create the whole, Kama Sutra scenarios, and they want to create everything, right? That's the thing what I'm talking about, downgrading, you see? When they think that it's, there is something, little that they would like to try, and then the appetite is growing during, while you're eating, right? After 40, more honest. Well, I believe if you're honest, you're honest. Okay? There are very young people who are very brave. Okay? And they know what they want. And because we have adult business so much expanded everywhere, people get used to nudity. So I would say the young generation is the bravest generation. Okay? And the older generation are conservatives. Okay? Yeah, that I would say. But like I say, sexuality topic and talking about you being sexual and creating certain erotic fantasies, it's a taboo. It's a taboo topic, right? And when you speak with your photographer, this is something what you need to remember. You have to be honest as possible, because erotic photo shoot, this is an adult service. Right? And the more sexier it gets during the photo shoot, the more pricier it gets. That's the main thing. Okay? So when people saying, oh, we would just want to undress, nothing sexual, nothing, like not too much and stuff, and then they arrive to the studio with the big list of ideas, okay? Or visuals, right? And they show me how many things they actually want, okay? So that's a big no-no. I don't mind to change the plan before the shoot, okay, and go with the flow. But what I'm saying is that sometimes people say, okay, we want to do this, but in the studio they create totally different things, okay? So the first thing is to be honest, okay? I mean not shy. You mean not shy, right? Okay, well, the most shy people are ladies. Okay, let me just start from this. Okay, guys are more braver, right? But when the guy is shy, they're writing me in the email straight away. Okay, I just yesterday got an email from the guy who's saying, I don't know if I can do this. You know, I really want an erotic photo shoot, but I don't know if I can do this. You know, I'm really shy. And when they're writing this, you know, I know that that's the thing. Okay, so for people who are shy and they are absolutely confused and they don't know, I would say you can use my advice. Okay, usually is this, right? To book an erotic photo shoot, you need a deposit to pay a session fee. Okay, and when you go to pay that session fee, you have to feel a certain energy, you know, a certain vibe inside you. When there is something no for you, you would feel this information inside you, right? So then you should cancel because it's not for you, right? So this is the only way you can check for yourself. When you send the deposit and you feel like, wow, it's gonna be, you know, something exciting, and you feel a boost of energy, then it's the right move for you. Okay, and then you know, then you should go for this. That's how I can advise. Okay, because otherwise I don't know what to say when people are saying, I don't know if I can do it. I am not here to convince anyone. You see, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is developing in the same way. Not everyone needs to know about themselves that much. Okay? Seriously, erotic photo shoot reveals all the secrets about yourself. I can tell you even demons coming out to play, right? And what that means is sometimes when you consuming alcohol or consuming drugs, there is a behavior that is changing because an action taken, right? And there are hormones, and there are a lot of feelings, and there are a lot of things that, you know, switch on, and it's unpredictable behavior. Okay, most of the time if you overtake, right? So erotic photography, you also will receive a certain energy boost, unexpected, and it will lead you to unknown. It will lead you, you will go, you will do things with me that you are not planned to. I can guarantee it. You know? Because, you know, some people are gifted to do those things and to lead people into certain states, right? So erotic photo shoot for me, it's natural. I can lead people to, you know, from a scary and shy and awkward and lost mind, what I'm doing here, what I'm supposed to do, and, you know, what is this, to a very confident state within their body and within their mind. And that's an option, okay? Or you can go and have a lot of, you know, book reading, but that takes time, okay? So people developing themselves, and they're looking for the fastest way and effective way, okay? And phototherapy proved very much effective because you are focusing on your programs. When you're creating a certain artwork, which is not allowed in the society, you would think, oh, this is very naughty, or very risky, or very kinky, you know, or very dirty, right? Something what you're creating, you are exposing yourself to a negative emotions, and those negative emotions will be recorded. So when they are recorded during you feeling it, making it, creating it, taking an action later, when you will receive the whole gallery, right, you will be looking at yourself and processing that information. And there will be information what you do not like about yourself and what you like about yourself. That's how you will be introduced to yourself. Photography will show you who you truly are, because Julia will inflict and how to say, put you in the situations, in the positions, provoke you to do certain things, right? So that she will create art, that special energy that is a value, okay? That's what happens during erotic photo shoot, okay? Damn, you look real. Okay, I am real. I am real. Okay, who's fine as mom on live? Ever start doing stuff like you are ever do people ever start doing stuff while you're taking photos. That's the goal. Okay? That's the goal, that they would start doing things, and we agree that they are start doing things, and they are going to sexual mode, and they start touching themselves, and they start undressing, and they start touching their partner, and then they start doing certain. That's the whole photo shoot goal, to create those moments. We are doing those type of pictures, yes, in my studio. Do you ever send stuff during the photo shoot? Yes, I create unlimited sessions. Okay, there are no limitations for adults to create sex art at my studio. So imagine what we're doing. Just imagine. Just imagine. Okay, thank you so much for your time. And sorry for that noise in the background. There is some renovations going on. Okay, so thank you so much. Right, love you, kiss you, mean it. And next time it's gonna be maybe tomorrow. I'll see and I'll prepare, and I have a specific topic to discuss. And of course, it's going to be about erotica, erotic photography, erotic photo shoots with models, photo shoots with couples, creating adult movies, and of course discussing about erotic fantasy scenarios. Okay, what people like to create. Okay, what they're looking for. Okay. Thank you so much, and till the next time. Bye.